Nobody has something to prove for themselves. We all play for the Seattle Mist as one.
We are in the Pacific Northwest for LFL Football Night opening night. Hello, LFL fans. It's Mitch Mortaza joining you alongside Bobby Hugo. A little bit later, Desi Mitchison down on the field. Now, Bobby, it wasn't that long ago that we were right here in Seattle. We were tossing the fish at Pike's Place Market. We're back now, the only difference being Seattle is a Legends Cup champion and now potentially on the doorstep of a dynasty.
Absolutely. A lot has changed since the two-time defending champion Chicago Bliss was knocked off. Seattle is now the big dogs in the LFL, and they're on the hunt in 2016. Coach Michelson wasn't just happy having all-stars returning from that championship team. He went out and signed some all-star free agents led by former MVP Sage Steinmetz. She's going to be a beast in Seattle.
That's another insurance policy for this team. Obviously, Stevie Schnorr was the leading rusher in 2015. Now to bring in a Sage Steinmetz, that says a lot for this team. Now let's talk about the defensive side of the ball. Danica Brace. Here's a young lady, your 2015 league MVP and Defensive Player of the Year at the middle linebacker position. Now they're moving her over to Rover. What does that mean?
I usually like the statement, if it's not broke, don't try to fix it. But I love the move, putting Brace at Rover instead of middle linebacker. She can create chaos from all kinds of positions, wherever she wants to line up on defense. Gonna be fun to watch her work.
And you talk about chaos. Chaos is this building, the ShoWare Center. Folks, this is the toughest place for any away team to come in, much less a team that's never played a down of football in the LFL. Of course, we're talking about the Austin Acoustic. Now, for a closer look at the Acoustic, we introduce you to the third member of our broadcast team, Desi Mitchison. Back to LFL Football Night in a rocking ShoWare Center. One of the toughest atmospheres in all of the LFL, the Seattle Mist, hosting the Austin Acoustic.
I am excited about this game, Mitch. We have the young team, Austin, coming into this house. And you mentioned this place is rocking. Seattle coming right off that championship season. This should be a fun game.
What a great night. The banner unveiled, the end zones are packed, and Sage Steinmetz will get us underway. That is a low kick bouncing off the boards. Not her best effort, as Austin will now take over at their own 15-yard line.
That's a great break for Austin. That ball going out of bounds. They'll get the ball on the 15-yard line. That's good starting position for this young offensive Austin.
And we're going to get our first look at Tashay Winfrey. A lot of people are calling her the Colin Kaepernick of the LFL, number 10. A great arm and great wheels. She's going to need all of that against this #1 ranked defense and the #1 ranked team overall, the Seattle Mist. Now a 1st and 10 ball at the 15. Winfrey in the shotgun. And they're not going to get a playoff here, Bobby. That's going to be a delay of game, and I don't know how you do that right out the gate.
Rookie mistake by the quarterback, Tashay Winfrey. She didn't notice the game clock. You got to take notice. As soon as that ball's put down, that clock starts. She wasn't looking at the clock, and they go backwards.
That is the mark of a new franchise. Obviously, a lot of kinks to work out. And they're going to have to do it in front of this big crowd in Seattle. You can hear them early. Finally get the snap off. That handoff, no gain. That's Stevie Schnorr coming up from the middle linebacker position. Schnorr taking over for Danica Brace.
Inside like that, she creates chaos from that middle linebacker position. It's going to be tough to run against that front line of Seattle tonight.
As we said, no gain on that rush. And here comes that Seattle crowd again. 2nd and 15. A shotgun, quick slant. That deflected at the line of scrimmage. Now we'll meet the starters for Austin. A young lineup, and now a 3rd and 15 pass from Winfrey. Intended for Jess Powers. This defense is absolutely swarming. That time, Jessica Hopkins.
They try to hit Jess Powers underneath. Hopkins is all over there. She could have caught the football, dropped it, but the key tonight is going to be the quarterback play of Tashay Winfrey. She's the trigger girl out there. She has to pull the trigger, read this defense, and also run against this defense. It's going to be real interesting to see how she plays tonight.
The young Winfrey being tested early. This now a 4th and 15 ball at the 10-yard line. Winfrey back to drop under some pressure. Had a receiver deep, could not connect. And now the danger of turning the ball over to this high-powered Seattle offense deep on your side of the field. Speaking of that offense, let's meet the starters.
That offense is loaded. There's all-stars all across that line, a wide receiver, running back, but it all comes down to right there, number 15, KK Matheny. She knows how to play quarterback. She is licking her chops tonight going against Austin.
Matheny now entering her 6th season at quarterback. Finally capturing that Legends Cup championship in 2015. This will be a pitch play. That was a shot put pass from Stevie Schnorr. And Seattle on the board early. It only took one play from scrimmage.
Wow, Stevie Schnorr is a one-woman wolf pack. She can do it all. She can play defense, she can run, and now she throws the football for a touchdown pass. Wow.
You have got to be kidding me. Stevie Schnorr finding a streaking Jessica Hopkins, and that puts Seattle up 6-0 early.
What a great call by Coach Michelson, going for that jugular right after the change of possession. A halfback pass. You got to love that call, Mitch.
3-time head coach of the year, Chris Michelson, knowing he's got a young team in Austin against the ropes, went right after him. Now a 2-point attempt. That's Bren Renda. Nowhere near the goal line. Tiffany Zimmerman and Brenda Lynn.
Bryn Renda, a great all-round athlete. She previously played for Tampa. Coach Michelson said he wants to get the ball in her hands more often, hence put her in the backfield like that, but great play by that swarming Austin defense.
Tashay Winfrey going back to work. Her first series did not end very well. And this crowd knows it. Winfrey back in the shotgun, inside handoff, Jess Powers. And Powers gaining 2 yards on the carry and tackled by none other than Danica Brace.
Austin's going to have to mix it up like that, get the ball to Powers, which will open up that passing game for Winfrey. It's going to be a tough night. This Seattle defense is stout. It's tough to run or pass against them.
It does look like Austin is committed to the passing game. Winfrey back in the shotgun. That is a quick over-the-middle throw. Incomplete to Jess Powers.
Jess Powers again dropped the football. Right now she's got hands like feet dropping footballs out there.
How much of that has got to be nerves for a young team like this in this crowd? It's got to be some nerves here, Bobby.
It's a lot of nerves, but you got to throw that away. Now it's just to be an athlete. Catch the football and run with it.
A 3rd and 8 ball at the Austin 17. Winfrey back to pass. Big time pressure off the edge. And eluding tacklers. Getting slammed against the wall by Danica Brace.
Who else? Danica Brace. But right there, Winfrey showed what a great athlete she is. She was a great basketball player at University of Texas Pan American. It shows right here, but wow, welcome to the LFL.
That was a 6-yard run by Winfrey. Setting up a 4th and 2 ball at the Austin 23. And look at the Seattle crowd. Do they not know football? They know exactly when to turn it up.
In a hostile crowd, it's got to be tough for Winfrey to call signals out there.
That's Jess Powers picking up the big Austin first down. That was a 2-yard gain and enough to move the chains.
Big play for Austin getting their first down.
We take a media timeout. You've got to run the ball with a young quarterback in this kind of environment. You've got to have some threat of a running game.
Absolutely right. You've established the run, and that opens up that passing game.
Another handoff to Jess Powers. And look who comes up again, number 8, Danica Brace, followed by Jessica Hopkins.
That shows what kind of athlete, though, however, Jess Powers is. A great jump cut to get around Jessica Hopkins. A short game, but she showed a lot of game with that run.
That Powers run will set up a 2nd and 10, no gain. Ball on the Seattle side of the field for the first time in the first quarter. Tashay remains in the shotgun, looking down the field, now looking to check down. That is Shay Norton. Norton having a previous stint with the mist and then returning, and comes up with the big sack.
Winfrey's got to learn, get rid of the football. She had happy feet in the pocket. She had time to throw the ball, waited too long. And against the champs, you can't do that. You have to throw the football down the field.
3rd and 16 now. Winfrey really struggling with that clock in the head. They say quarterbacks have an inherent clock. They've got to get rid of the football. Back in the shotgun again, looking over the middle. And that'll be incomplete, intended for Leilana Lopez. And the new rover for Seattle, Danica Brace, making a huge impact here in the first quarter.
Danica Brace played that play perfectly. She dropped back in coverage. She knew they had a long way to go. As soon as the ball was thrown, she closed on the receiver. Great play again by Danica Brace.
And here comes that Seattle crowd. A 4th and 16 for the young Winfrey. Ball at the 20, looking to pass down the field. Again, pressure from Shay Norton on the edge. And that's LaShonda Fowler absolutely blowing up the rookie. And it looks like she may have fumbled. It would not have mattered. It was 4th down.
Winfrey has to learn to deliver the football. She had Leilani Lopez, who came in motion on a deep post route, open, but she came off of her real quick and tried to run. There's no way she was going to get that yardage for a first down. If she throws the ball to Lopez, could have been a touchdown.
That Austin defense will go back to work. Let's meet their starters. Matheny back to pass now, looking down the field, has a receiver, and just through the outstretched arms of Jessica Hopkins.
Hopkins was open right there. They had a trip set. They brought Bryn Renda underneath. KK Matheny tried to go for the post and get it all in one play. Good play by Austin.
KK Matheny in this Seattle offense not shy early. Matheny, of course, coming off Legends Cup championship season, and has moved her life from Florida to Seattle and become very active in the community. As the final seconds tick off here in the first quarter, Jessica Hopkins in motion, inside handoff. Stevie Schnorr getting to the second layer. The defense is still motoring. Schnorr gains 9 yards on the carry. That is your 2015 league leading rusher.
There is no way that Austin will be able to tackle Stevie Schnorr one-on-one. They have to swarm to the football. When she handles the football, you can't bring her down just by one defender.
A 3rd and 1 play. That is exactly what Austin feared. Seattle's a big frame team with some power backs, built for short yardage. That is a misdirection play. Seattle getting cute early. Pass intended for Bryn Renda.
Hold up, my bad.
And you can see head coach and offensive coordinator Chris Michelson not happy.
Not happy at all. Bryn Renda wide open coming across the back of the end zone. KK Matheny not sharp right now. You can't blame her. Coming off a championship season, they celebrate a lot during the offseason. It's going to take her a little bit to get warmed up.
This is preseason football, for lack of a better term. These teams have not played. That's Stevie Schnorr just breaking through arm tackles. Again, to your point, Bobby, this team, Austin, seems physically outmatched.
Wow, Emma Lee Thomas learned about the LFL real quick. That jump cut by Schnorr, she tackled air. Great run by Stevie Schnorr.
Schnorr gaining 10 yards on the carry. Setting the ball up beautifully for Seattle inside the 2-yard line. You can see a little miscommunication between Matheny and offensive coordinator Chris Michelson. Those two run the most complex offense in the entire league. A reported 160 plays in the playbook. And this play not going anywhere. Sage Steinmetz getting stopped. And done so by the rookie middle linebacker, Steph Wickett. A fired-up Chris Michelson as we are at the end of the first quarter. It's the Seattle Mist leading 6-0. We are back to the ShoWare Center. The Legends Cup champion Seattle Mist on top of the expansion Austin Acoustic 6-0. What are your thoughts on that first quarter, Bobby?
Austin coach Jericho Harris, he has to be happy with that first quarter, but they're only within one score of tying the LFL champions.
Seattle will start the second quarter. Another handoff to Sage Steinmetz. Did she get in? No, they're going to mark her out at about the 1.5-yard line. Make that about the 1. The free agent running back from the Tampa Breeze getting some looks here in the second quarter.
This team is loaded at running back. In my interview this week with Coach Michelson, he explained to me there's 5 running backs that could start for any team in the LFL. When you have Sage Steinmetz and Stevie Schnorr, 2 power backs in the backfield, inside the 5-yard line, you just keep giving the ball. They're unstoppable. They will get the ball in the end zone.
Yeah, not to mention the up front line of this team. You've got Jenna Weiss, LaShonda Fowler, and then they'll move Sage Steinmetz to the front line. That is a big offense. Now a 3rd and goal toss play. Stevie Schnorr, the bull, cutting it inside. And a little ShoWare leap. The Canadian import has really made a home for herself here on the Seattle Mist.
You gotta love the way she attacks the line of scrimmage. She draws it out. She takes the pitch from KK Matheny, waits for her spot, then attacks the line of scrimmage into the end zone. All-star running ability for that girl.
Stevie Schnorr, very underrated. Actually outrushed Christelle Harris last year of Chicago, racking up an impressive 5.3 average carry, nearly 400 yards on the ground. Number 2, affectionately known as the Bull.
Now, offensive coordinator's dream. When you give her the football, you know she's getting at least 5 yards of pop. That opens up the entire offensive scheme.
Now the 2-point conversion. That looked like a bit of high motion. Handoff to Katie Whelan. Make that Sage Steinmetz, and Steinmetz finally smelling the end zone. And that'll put Seattle up 14-0.
It's going to take a while for her to learn this offense. She definitely knows how to do the worm, but to learn Michelson's offense, she's slowly going to get it week after week. As you mentioned, over 160 plays. There's no way you can memorize that offensive playbook that quickly.
Sage Steinmetz ran a very basic offense in Tampa. Nothing of the sort here in Seattle. And there's Jericho Harris, head coach of the Austin Acoustic, being taught a thing or two here early in Seattle.
He really is. He has to get on the board quick or this game's going to get out of hand. Right now, Tashay Winfrey's got to take this game into her own pocket and make something happen on this drive.
That is the only success Austin has really seen. When the play's broken down, Winfrey's made yardage with her feet. That's a quick toss play to Jess Powers. And Powers really struggling here in the first half.
It's going to be really hard for Powers to run against that all-star lineup that Seattle has. They have 2 MVPs on that defense. And then you mix in Stevie Schnorr and Melee Richards. There's no way they're going to run the ball against this team. To have any success, Winfrey's going to have to put the ball in the air.
Schnorr is really coming to her own at the middle linebacker position. Tough shoes to fill when you're filling in for Danica Brace, but she's really delivered. And there she is once again, getting to Tashay Winfrey is number 2, Stevie Schnorr.
Somebody of that offensive line has to find an answer to Stevie Schnorr. She is all over the football field. She is controlling the field right now. That line's got to get together.
That line is severely outmatched physically, with Seattle being on average 11 pounds heavier up front. Winfrey back in the shotgun on a 3rd and 9 play. Pressure off the edge, and they get to her this time. That is Melee Rich coming from the corner position.
That's just a rookie mistake by the quarterback. They had a trip set out wide, a quick post underneath, wide open. Winfrey couldn't deliver the football. She chose to run it. It could have been another big play for Austin.
These corners are really athletic. LaShonda Fowler and Melee Rich. Here comes that famed Seattle crowd on a 4th and 16. Ball at the Austin 9-yard line. Shotgun to Winfrey, looking in the flat, finds Jess Powers. Well short of a first down, only 3 yards. As Seattle once again will take over deep in Austin territory.
Just a bad read by Winfrey right there. You have to deliver the ball down the field. Short underneath is not going to get you 16 yards on 4th down.
Now is Seattle leading 14-0. Back to the ShoWare Center.
Okay, here we go. Here we go. Twins left stack, 28 spread.
A near packed house watching their Legends Cup champion up 14-0 on Austin.
They are slowly getting into gear right now. Right now, if they score here, they'll go up 3 scores against this young Austin team.
Great field position, as we've mentioned all night for the Mist. Now taking over from the 13-yard line. Matheny deep in the shotgun. Little toss over the middle. Acrobatic catch. That is Bren Renda. Voted one of the top 5 receivers in league history. And she showed you why.
Absolutely. What hands she has. She has a velvet touch. A bad pass by KK Matheny. Bryn Renda showing the athletic abilities she has. Brings it in. Almost takes it in for a score.
And we see Renda's numbers there. Very impressive for the 2015 season.
Bryn Renda, #1 connection of all time for KK Matheny. Going back to their days in Tampa, it's good to see them getting on the same page tonight. In fact, I get misty-eyed when I see them make connections like that, Mitch.
Yeah, they've got a great friendship on and off the field. They are known to throw the ball every day in the offseason with Passing Tree. This will stay on the ground. Pitch out, Stevie Schnorr. And I'm not sure she got in. That was Selena Fudge coming up from the corner position.
Great scheme right there. I'm pretty sure she got in. It's going to be interesting.
We take immediate timeout. And it looks like maybe head coach Chris Michelson will want to take another look. And there you go. That is the challenge flag. Interesting to get a different angle on this, but it looked like she was short. That is head referee Nick Martin, and they're going to review the play.
We're going to review the previous play, so let's give it up for DJ Forrest.
Stevie Schnorr gets the ball outside. Great stalk blocking by the wide receivers, and it looked to me like she broke that plane. This might be a great call by Coach Michelson.
You know, he's just waiting to engage the referees. Head coach Chris Michelson, obviously legendary with his run-ins with the officials.
You know what? That works. It's like an NBA manager, a game manager, going after the refs, going after the refs. Eventually, they're going to make the call going your way.
We'll see if that has an influence here. It did look like Stevie Schnorr had broken the plane. And head referee Nick Martin will make the call here. This could be a dagger if you're an Austin Acoustic fan. Wow. Chris Michelson 1-0 in challenge calls thus far.
Super call by Chris Michelson. That might be the straw that breaks the camel's back for Austin.
They've been in those situations several times, backed up. And I think the story of this first half, at least, has been the starting field position. Get this, Seattle on average has started from the 22-yard line of Austin. Now the two-point attempt for Seattle. They're going to fake the inside handoff, go outside with Sage Steinmetz. And there's that power back with those legs, and she just drove through that Austin defense.
Great misdirection call. KK Matheny looked like Chris Angel with her ball fakes right there. Great call by Seattle. You give it to a running back like Sage Steinmetz, it's automatic.
That'll put Seattle up 22-0. And if Austin has any hope in this game, they have got to mount a drive here and get on the board.
It's gotten to the point that they have to play for pride. No points on the board. They're not even getting close to the end zone. Somehow, Winfrey's got to come up with some plays.
I did like the fact that earlier in the second quarter, Austin tried to establish a run game, and you could see that gave some comfort to Tashay Winfrey, because in the first quarter, it was pass, 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 and she really struggled.
Incompleted pass, start out 0 for 5, and when you do that, you can go right after the running backs. Bring the defense up, go after everybody. They're not doing anything on offense right now.
They are going to try the run game. This time, Michelle Marshall. We haven't seen anything from Marshall. Looks like they've had enough with Jess Powers. They're going to get a look at another back.
Michelle Marshall, a great running back out of San Antonio. She ran the ball great there. She saw the hole, she attacked, she got positive yardage.
Marshall gained 5 yards. That'll set up a very manageable second down play here at 2nd and 5. The crowd starting to come to life as Austin gets to near midfield. This is a design rollout for Tashay Winfrey, trying to lower her shoulder. LaShonda Fowler not having any of that, but that will be enough for an Austin first down.
Winfrey is aces with me. She shows her talent right there. Not a pretty play, but on her own, she went out and got the Austin Acoustic, a well-needed first down.
That's exactly right. I think at this point, you just have to move the sticks. As we pointed out earlier, Seattle's just taking over 4 and out. And when you do that, you're giving that offense a very short field. Another toss play, this time again to Michelle Marshall. Marshall this time no gain on the play. That was Danica Brace sealing the edge.
There's absolutely no threat of a passing game coming from Austin. All 7 defenders were within 3 yards of the line of scrimmage on that play. Even if it's incomplete, you got to throw one down the field and get that defense moving back.
As much as this is a first game for the athletes, we haven't talked much about head coach Jericho Harris and that staff. They've never been in this environment either.
They weren't scared. When we interviewed them this week, they were ready to play. They said they're ready to win this game, but it hasn't showed so far.
2nd and 12 play. Handoff. Michelle Marshall looking for any daylight, getting to the outside. And I tell you what, I'm liking what I'm seeing from Michelle Marshall.
She's got a big heart right there. That's a lot of work for a 2-yard gain.
Chris Michelson not happy with his defensive effort, and we are officially at the 2-minute mark with Seattle up 22-0.
Gotta fucking weak side pursue! You goddamn DNs are getting sucked the fuck in! If you weak side pursue, you would have murdered her 5 yards back! Discipline! Come on! You DNs, come on, stay on fucking course! Christine Rover, put Stevie back at Mike.
Tight ends are coming out blocking too now, like coming at me.
Oh well, move around them. Okay? Stay in that Rover, be smart. Know the difference in cover 2. Okay? We got 3rd down
Back
and
to
10,
LFL
guys.
football night. It has been all Seattle up 22-0. Bobby, how important is it here for Tashay Winfrey to get some momentum?
Oh, it's huge. I like what she did during that timeout. She made like Oprah Winfrey and talked to the team, found out what the problem was, and she's got this team moving.
And she does indeed. That pass complete in the flat. Brenda Lynn, the center. And I'm really liking this offense right now. A good blend of the run game and the short passing game.
You can tell they got their swag going on right now. Winfrey has his team moving. Right now, Seattle is on their heels going backwards.
And what was the over-under on the Oprah Winfrey mention?
It was 15.
And you got it just under that. Oprah Winfrey back to work. Make that Tashay Winfrey. Ball at the Seattle 13 and the crowd coming to life. That's a direct snap. Winfrey cannot get to the outside. That was a designed rollout. They smelled that all the way. That was Sage Steinmetz and Jessica Hopkins.
That was real bad execution by the offense. It looked to me like it was going to be a speed option down the line. She didn't wait for her back to get out there. She took it on her own. There's nothing there. Bad play by Winfrey.
Plenty of time still remaining here. I believe Austin still has both of their timeouts remaining as we near the 1 minute mark of the first half. Winfrey from the shotgun, looking over the middle, has Steph Wickett breaking the tackle and stop the presses. The Austin Acoustic score their first ever franchise touchdown.
Great read by Tashay Winfrey. Man-to-man coverage. Jessica Hopkins had Steph Wickett man-on-man. What do, man-on-man? You go crossing routes across the field. Wide open. Great throw by Winfrey. Austin on the board.
We did not expect that. What an incredible drive. Down 22-0 to get down the field and get on the board.
They need to replay that drive all year long against the champs. They went right down the field.
And here's the two-point attempt. And Winfrey connecting with Michelle Marshall. This team has really come to life in the last 2 minutes.
Winfrey looked like Vince Young on that drive. She read the coverage perfectly. Right there, Michelle Marshall, red man coverage, broke outside, but LaShonda Fowler was playing zone. She was in a 2-deep coverage. Nobody covered her in the end zone. Another score for Austin.
And I'm looking around this arena. I'm seeing a bunch of shocked faces, Bobby.
They're stunned right now. Chris Michelson, he's livid on the sideline. He was hoping for a shutout tonight. With that drive, Winfrey brought Austin back within 2 scores.
If nothing else, even if Seattle goes down and scores on this drive, that gives them life. Austin. That's a rollout. Looking into the flat. That was nearly intercepted. Jess Powers in coverage.
That's a game changer right there. If she comes down with that football, they got a chance to score another touchdown before halftime. Jess Powers, she dropped 2 passes early in the game. Right there again, she's all thumbs.
KK Matheny looking very rusty in the opener. Here's a young lady that only threw 2 interceptions the entire 2015 season.
Absolutely right. During the interview this week, she was looser than a pair of old socks, maybe 2 loose. It's showing tonight. She's not sharp.
This really is kind of a preseason game for both offenses. KK Matheny definitely showing that rust. From the shotgun, looking over the middle, overthrowing her receiver. And that is Jess Powers. What a momentum changer.
Wow, game changer. Coach Michelson in shock right now. The star athlete from Bellevue is making Michelson think he wants to check into Bellevue. What a play by Powers.
Offensive coordinator Chris Michelson not happy with some of the decision-making by KK Matheny. And now the young buck, Tashay Winfrey, will get another shot to cut into this Seattle lead.
What a play by Powers. You can't blame KK. Just a great play. Great athletic play by Jess Powers.
And now it's not Tashay Winfrey, but Jess Powers in the backfield. Lined up in the Wildcat. This is interesting. I'm not exactly sure why Tashay Winfrey is not out on the field.
I'm not positive, but I think her jersey was torn. When I was a coach of Miami, Chicago did this to our quarterback to slow the game. They ripped her jersey, so she had to go to the sideline and get another jersey. I'm not accusing Coach Michelson of doing that. Smart move if he did, because they have some momentum going right now, but I think that's what happened.
Yeah, the last about 3 minutes of this game has been all Austin. And not just on the offensive side of the ball. Maybe this all started with that Steph Wickett stop of Sage Steinmetz down near the goal line.
One-on-one tackle, form tackle, you're absolutely right. It was a great play. But right now, however this worked out, what the reason is, it slowed the momentum down for Austin.
And here comes that Austin offense. Tashay Winfrey still not out there. Danica Brace urging on this packed house. Jess Powers remains at quarterback and having difficulty with the center, cannot get the play off. That's a false start. A lot of that has to do with the crowd noise. Danica Brace urging that crowd to get up here.
Jericho Harris is going nuts right now. I don't blame him. This totally turned the momentum to Seattle. They had a run going here with Winfrey at quarterback. Now with the backup, you can't even get the snap going. The momentum's gone back to Seattle just because of that torn jersey.
Here comes that crowd once again. 2nd and 13. Jess Powers remains at quarterback. That is a handoff to Renee Shepard. And we've got yet another penalty. This appeared to be maybe on Seattle. We're going to get a call here from Nick Martin. Indeed, that is a 5-yard penalty on Melee Rich. The Seattle defense in a very tough position here. If Austin scores again, you're talking about a real momentum changer.
Without Tashay Winfrey in the game at quarterback, I don't think they have a chance of getting the ball in the end zone. The backup quarterback, I don't think can throw like Winfrey, and Winfrey was on fire before she got pulled out of the game.
There's just a lot of miscommunication between the center and Jess Powers. Nonetheless, they're looking to the end zone. That was Jessica Hopkins on the deflection. They'll have time for one more play here. You got to imagine they're going to go back to the end zone.
Crazy turn of events. I guarantee you, as a first-year coach, the last thing you're thinking about is having a spare jersey for your quarterback on the sideline. I mean, that ended up being huge. Right now, Jess Powers is in at quarterback, and Winfrey's looking for a new jersey.
Now we've got trips right. There's a look at the torn jersey of Tashay Winfrey as Jess Powers remains in at quarterback, looking to the end zone. Nope. Dump off, big hit. Danica Brace from the rover position absolutely lights up Renee Shepard.
Wow, Renee Shepard just learned never bobble a pass in front of Danica Brace, the MVP, the stopper of all stoppers.
That'll officially bring us to the end of first half play. It was a half that saw Seattle go up strong early, and then behind Tashay Winfrey, Austin climbs back into the game. We'll be back with halftime after this.
I'm down here on the field with Coach Jericho Harris. Coach, you guys finally gained momentum in the first half. Is that something you can build on for the second?
Yeah, I think a lot of what was going on, our girls, I mean, kind of the deer in the headlight mentality. It's their first game in the LFL against the defending champs, and they just had to settle in and realize that they can play with these girls. And now that that's done, I mean, it's a whole second half of football to play.
Awesome. Well, we're going to see what happens. Thank you so much. Back to you guys.
All right.
Back inside the Shower Center on LFL Football Night, Mitch Mortaza alongside Bobby Huco. Now, Bobby, we've got a score of 22-8, Seattle in the lead. Is this what you expected?
Yeah, Seattle was in control, but there was some times in that first half when that young Austin team really put it to them. The difference, however, was that Seattle defensive line. They sacked the young quarterback, Tashay Winfrey, twice, and that was the difference.
Yeah, and she's been on her back most of this first half. I don't know if it's a poor blocking scheme or she's holding on to that ball too long. On the Seattle side, really they picked up where they left off in 2015. 3 first-half touchdowns by this offense, and through the air with the first one. It didn't come from KK Matheny, folks. It came from Stevie Schnorr, finding Jessica Hopkins on this touchdown to give Seattle an early 6-0 lead. Schnorr back at it with 2 touchdowns to end the half. This one from 1 yard out, followed by this one from 3 yards out. That gave Seattle a commanding lead. But late in the half, finally, the Austin Acoustic get on the scoreboard with the franchise's first ever touchdown when Steph Wickett was found by Tashay Winfrey on this 18-yard touchdown pass. And that will officially do it for us here at halftime at the Shower Center. As the teams return to the field, we get you ready. Kickoff is next.
my God, I got smacked, and I couldn't step into it, so I was like this, got hit, and it was like, it was awful. It was awful. But, no, I could have thrown it sooner. I could have thrown it sooner. I know. That's me.
Back to LFL football night. Mitch Mortaza, Bobby Hugo, and Desi Mitchison in a game that Austin has had a lot of opportunity. Now Seattle starting to pull away.
They really have. They look good. Austin, the last 2 quarters look real good. Melee Rich's interception completely turned this game around.
And Winfrey there being a little careless, throwing into double coverage. That was nearly intercepted by Danica Brace.
Got to watch out for this Austin team. Right now, they're down 30-8, but there's a lot of talent. I like the quarterback. She's really impressed me. She's starting to take hold of that offense, and they're going to be fun to watch this year.
I was very high coming in on Jess Powers, but I think Michelle Marshall, who we saw a little of in the second quarter, may be a better back than Jess Powers.
They have some talent. They got Selena Fudge we haven't even talked about.
And that's Winfrey breaking the pocket in the open field and not shy to lay the lumber. What a run by Winfrey.
Absolutely. If she had some help downfield by her receivers, Leilani Lopez, if she makes a good block here, that could have been a touchdown for Austin.
That was a 17-yard run by Tashay Winfrey, setting up a 1st and 10 at the Seattle 18. Winfrey directing traffic in the backfield with Jess Powers. And here comes that crowd once again. Inside handoff goes to Jess Powers, eking out a few yards. That'll be a good for about a 4-yard run. LaShonda Fowler on the tackle.
I don't want to make comparisons, but the way Winfrey is playing right now, is she the Cam Newton of the LFL? The way she ran that football?
I think Cam Newton has a better arm. I think the better analogy would be Colin Kaepernick.
Cap, that's a good call right there.
You know, a younger quarterback, great physical stature, strong arm. I mean, you could see right there, she just doesn't have the touch. She's just not a seasoned quarterback. It is a new role for her.
That'll come with practice and repetition. This is her first game ever at quarterback. She's showing she's an athlete. She can throw, she can run. She's somebody to look out for.
That is an excellent point, Bobby. We haven't mentioned throughout the broadcast that this is indeed the very first game that young lady's played the position.
Against the champs, Seattle. Unbelievable.
Absolutely. 3rd and 6 now. From the shotgun, another handoff to Jess Powers. And you could see the Seattle defense, specifically number 8, starting to smell that out a bit.
You can't run away from Danica Brace. But getting back to that Austin offense, they could have folded right now. They're down 30-8. What'd they do? They're driving right down the field.
Now a 4th and 7 for this offense. Ball at the Seattle 15-yard line. Austin has got to come away with some points here. Winfrey from the shotgun, dropping back, looking over the middle, has a receiver. That was intended for Leilani Lopez. Broken up by Danica Brace.
Winfrey will learn in time. You can move secondaries with your eyes. Right there, she stared at her receiver. It went right into double coverage. It didn't have a chance of being completed. KK Matheny, she's a veteran. She moves defenses with her eyes. Lesson learned right there for Winfrey.
And I don't know if this is a very simplistic approach by the Austin offense, but it seems like a lot of their patterns are slant patterns or anything over the middle. They're not working the outs. They're not working posts, go patterns.
Exactly. Once they get a scheme in here like Seattle has with their 160 plays, not that they use 160 plays, they game plan it down to about 20, but they have a scheme. They know what they're doing. You're right. Right now, it looks like they're dropping back. Austin is dropping back, and they're just throwing little routes in there. No schemes.
Seattle with the ball again at the 15-yard line. KK Matheny trying to zip it into coverage. Pass intended for Stevie Schnorr, broken up by Kyler Hurt.
Right after I paid KK Matheny a compliment saying she can move coverages with her eyes, she fires a bullet right in the coverage, almost got picked off.
A 2nd and 10 now for Seattle. Coach Chris Michelson looking for any kind of answers offensively. If it were not for that Melee Rich interception here in the 3rd quarter, this team would be in trouble.
It'd be a different ball game. that interception and then the torn jersey right before halftime, without those two plays, it would be a tight ball game.
Ball remains at the Seattle 15-yard line. This time Matheny under center. And they're going to run a reverse. That looks like Bren Renda getting to the outside. Stopped by Jess Powers, but not after a 6-yard conversion.
Jess Powers is having a great game. That play right there looked like it had a lot of potential on the reverse with Bren Renda, who can flat out fly. But Jess Powers didn't go for the fake and stalked down Bren Renda. Great play.
Chris Michelson getting a little creative here, knowing that the entire league is watching the Seattle Mist to see if indeed they're a real or if they're a one-year hit.
Well, interesting you said that, because in our interview, Michelson did not want to show all of his plays, all his tricks, knowing the LA game is coming up. He wanted to show his basic offense.
From the shotgun, Matheny rolling right, throwing across her body, has a receiver. That is Jessica Hopkins in for the score.
What a throw by KK Matheny. She had eyes in the back of her head. And Jessica Hopkins finally got out of witness protection and into the Seattle passing game. She's a former all-LFL receiver.
Hopkins on a 29-yard connection with KK Matheny. Matheny looking rusty most of the night, but impressive there. We saw a lot of that in 2015.
She's back. That is the KK Matheny we have grown to love.
That'll bring us close to the end of the third quarter. And what a way to end it. Again, a 29-yard completion from Matheny to Hopkins. Looks like we're going to stay here for the extra point attempt. That is exactly what Matheny needed, I think, for her confidence.
Yeah, the whole offense needed that. That's a spark that they needed. Get back to the old Seattle offense we've seen over the past 5 years. And KK Matheny, she's got her swag going now. Austin, you know what? I can't say anything bad about them. Their first game ever against this team that's such a powerhouse. It's a fun game. And you know what it was, Mitch? It was a clean game today. There was no fights, no talking trash, just good football.
Still a quarter of football left here. That is an extra point handoff to Ashley Baker, the rookie. And she will get stopped. It looks like at about the half-yard line. And bring us officially to the end of the third quarter. Through 30 minutes of play, it's the Seattle Mist up 36-8. Back for the final 10 minutes of football. LFL Football Night season opener. In a game that's seen the Seattle Mist start to pull away 36-8 over to Shea Winfrey and the Austin Acoustic.
Winfrey's going to win some games. This team, they learned a lot of lessons tonight coming into a beehive here in Seattle against the LFL champions. She learned a lot tonight. This team will do well this year.
Winfrey again in the shotgun. Ball at the 15 of Austin. Here comes the pressure again from the corner. And you simply cannot hold on to the ball as much as Tashay Winfrey has tonight.
That's just coaching right there. As a quarterback, you got to get rid of the ball. If nobody's there, throw it away. Throw it up in the crowd. You do not take a loss like that.
And you know what? Quietly, Shay Norton is having quite the game. Keep in mind, she took 2 years away from the Seattle Mist and looks like she's come back ready to play some football.
Shay Norton, she is a baller. I like to watch her play. I'm glad she's back in action. Another weapon for Coach Michelson.
That was an 8-yard loss. Takes the ball back to the Austin 7-yard line. And at this point, you got to figure you really don't have a shot at this game. You just got to finish it with some momentum and take confidence into the next game.
You're right. You have to execute right now. Be smart and execute.
That's Winfrey trying to make something happen, kind of recklessly holding the ball. Like you said, Bobby, I think she's just an incredible raw talent that has no idea how to play the position.
You're right. That was actually a good play. There was nobody open, but instead of taking the sack and losing 8 to 10 yards, she tucked it, made it a positive gain.
That was a gain of 6 yards to be exact. That's Ashley Baker, the rookie corner that Seattle loves. Winfrey remains in the shotgun where she feels most comfortable. Looking to the right side, trips right, again holding on to the ball and going down.
That'll be learned when they watch these films. The coaches will show her, get rid of the football. You can't do that. You hurt your football team when you keep taking sacks like that.
This time it was Melee Rich. And I don't think you can pin this on the O-line. You could see Winfrey there absolutely imploding on her line. But I'm not sure that's their fault, number 11.
No, you're absolutely right. That's all on Winfrey right there. Just get rid of the football. If nothing's there, they have a solid secondary. There's not going to be open receivers all the time. If not, throw the ball away.
A 4th and 20 now. Ball backed up to the 5-yard line of Austin. And here comes that crowd once again. Looking into the flat, that is not going to get there. Although breaking tackles is Brenda Lynn still on her feet. She'll gain 9 yards, but that is well short of the first down. Again, giving Seattle a very short field.
Not even close to a first down, but Brenda Lynn, what a big heart she has. She did not give up. She had about 20 yards to go. She kept busting tackles, didn't get enough, but Austin plays hard.
You could see Tashea Winfrey upset. Again, I don't think that's a lot to do with their line. That is her simply holding on to the ball way too long.
She's frustrated. Right now, it's 44-8. Just a little while ago, they're in this football game. She's a competitor. She is upset right now. Just I bring Cam Newton up again, just like he was in the Super Bowl, just frustrated with everything.
She's just looking for a fight to pick on the sideline right now. That young lady has a lot of learning and a lot of football ahead of her, but an absolute talent nonetheless. Now 1st and 10 for Seattle. I'm not sure if that was a bad snap or poorly handled. Looking to the left side, just off the mark with Bren Renda. Those two have struggled all night. We take a media timeout.
Let's go wishbone, 45 glass, blue, wide corner.
Winfrey still hot on the sidelines. KK Matheny getting that scheme together. It'll be a 2nd and 10. Ball at the Austin 14-yard line, and you got to figure this is just now garbage time.
Well, it's garbage time, but it's not. You're keeping your starters in. They're keeping KK in because they want her to be sharp going into the second game.
That's an inside handoff to Sage Steinmetz. That's somebody that needs reps. Obviously new to the offense, as you mentioned. An incredible talent, but she's been away from the game for a number of years.
That's right. The way they played tonight, they need this repetition. You're 100% right. If they went in like this against Chicago, Atlanta, they're going to get beat. They need the repetition. Game time for this team.
That Steinmetz run now sets up a 3rd and 7. And this is one of the things about Seattle. They take a lot of time to call the play and get to the line to run it.
She purposely does that. She's a field general. She wants to make sure everybody in that huddle knows exactly what they're doing before they go up to the ball.
3rd and 7 now. That looked like a busted play. No, that's an option now. Outside to Stevie Schnorr. And what a game number 2 is having. Just a simple option play.
Stevie Schnorr, she always finds a way to get through the noise, whatever block and whatever defense is up there, she finds a way to the end zone. But you're right, a speed option straight down the line. Great read by Matheny, flips it out there to Stevie Schnorr. More points for the champs.
That'll take him up now 44-8. This game is officially blown open, and this is the Seattle Mist we expected. A little bit challenged there before the half. Certainly in the 3rd quarter, there was times that Austin had him on the ropes. But it looks like now the champs are reasserting themselves.
They've put it in the 5th gear. They look like the Seattle Mist of old.
And that is the extra point attempt. Matheny finally coming together here late in the game. Danica Bray's having a little fun with the rookie Michelle Marshall. It's time to officially have fun and start thinking about Los Angeles. That is where Seattle's headed in a couple weeks. That's going to be quite the rivalry game.
Absolutely. The only bad part about playing your starting quarterback this late in the game when you're up that many points is that right there. She's in pain right now. She's taking some shots. You don't want to lose KK Matheny.
And Matheny is very small in stature, although she's probably one of the toughest players in the league. Taken a lot of punishment over the last 6 years that she's played.
Bryn Renda, she's the backup quarterback, a great athlete. Now's a great time of the game to put her in and give her some reps.
Austin will get another shot here offensively. It is 1st and 10. And we'll see where Tashay Winfrey, after imploding on the sideline, we'll see how she responds. I'm not sure what that was. A little miscommunication. Looked like a double reverse maybe. A poor handoff technique. The technique's just not there.
Whatever that was, they should never try that ever again. That was a trick play, but it took too long developing. There was nothing there. Seattle pretty much laughed at that play.
That was a loss of a yard. Shay Norton on the tackle. As I said before, Shay Norton quietly is having one hell of a ball game.
Shay Norton just adds another dimension to this already super talented team.
2nd and 11 now. Winfrey looking to go to the air again, this time connecting with her receiver, Leilani Lopez, who they're very big on, a very small-statured receiver, but we've seen her very active in the passing game.
That's a great pass right there. Great play, sharp passing, good drop back by Winfrey. She comes across the middle, finds a hole, and she delivers a strike.
You know, I like this. This is now basically like a live 7-on-7 drill. You don't get this kind of look at practice.
No. One of the best defenses in the LFL. You're seeing it right now. Now's a great time to try all your stuff.
Absolutely. I think the scoreboard is obviously irrelevant for Austin right now. It's a matter of getting out there and just getting some reps against a very good defense.
Some of these plays, I don't know why they don't try them early in the game. A straight option right there. A great read by Winfrey to get great yardage.
And you could see the offensive crew there, led by head coach Jericho Harris, still working. As I said, they've been very optimistic about the talent on this team. They're obviously very young. There's a lot of football, and you could see right there, that is just miscommunication, a blown play.
Jess Powers, great athlete, but she's making some mistakes tonight. Drop balls, going the wrong way on the interception. She had the wrong route. A great athlete. Again, with time, she's going to get it. This is a rookie team. I look forward to watching them play this year.
LaShonda Fowler on the tackle. Seattle still playing all their starters on both sides of the ball. That'll set up a 2nd and 13. Ball at the Seattle 24-yard line. Winfrey back to pass. Looking down, has a receiver. Just missed the target. Pass intended for Leilani Lopez.
Leilani Lopez, she was open on that post pattern. That's twice she was open. Good protection up front by Austin. Just a bad pass by Winfrey. She had her.
Winfrey will go back to work with this offense. But now we are at the 2-minute mark. 2 minutes of football remaining as Seattle will advance to 1-0. Lead ball night, and that is your game MVP, Stevie the Bull Schnorr.
The Bull was all over the field tonight. It looked like a championship game for her on offense and defense.
She was the unsung hero of that playoff run and eventual Legends Cup championship. Getting off to a strong start here in 2016 as the Seattle Mist MVP tonight. Winfrey looking to go back to work. Big time pressure. The receiver was absolutely lit up. Intended for Chastity Morales.
I'll tell you what, that Austin offensive front has been rock solid tonight. She had more than enough time to deliver the football. Wickett, Thomas, and then they're playing great football.
Perhaps the last opportunity here for Austin, a 4th and 13. The crowd still in at 44-8. Bless these fans, man. They stayed here the whole time. Tashay Winfrey looking for any kind of daylight, has an opening. And trying to get to the down marker will be about 2 yards short. Definitely plays with a lot of heart.
Great effort by Winfrey. She almost got the first down. She stepped up in the pocket. Nothing there. She got a bloody lip. But she's a trooper. I love the way she plays football. They're getting blown out right now. If you read the score in the paper, you think they're getting blown out, but they played good football.
Seattle will take over on downs. Maybe we'll see a backup quarterback here. It'll be interesting to see. Nope, number 15 will return. To your point, Bobby, this is the type of thing that scares me. One edge rusher, anything can happen. It would be an absolute shame to lose your starting quarterback at this position.
You are 100% right. KK Matheny is the one that's going to take this team to another championship and nobody else. You can't risk injury right now.
And that young lady, we've talked about her a bunch. Kind of a so-so debut, I think.
So-so's a perfect term. I mean, she's got talent. She's not a quarterback yet. She's an athlete playing a quarterback position.
I think so-so is also a very technical broadcasting term as well.
I agree.
Very proud of myself. 1st and 10, Seattle. Dropping back to pass over the middle into traffic. And I'm a little surprised they're still throwing the ball. And you could see KK Matheny picking herself up. I don't know if I agree with this scheme right now.
Taking shots, Chris Michelson was coach of the year, but I don't agree with leaving her in the game this far with only seconds left, taking shots like that.
You've got, well, your quarterback's being peeled off the ground after every play. Nonetheless, 2nd and 10 now.
It's a coaching decision. She's not going to take herself out. She'll play till tomorrow. I mean, the coach has to pull her right now.
Absolutely. Stevie Schnorr in the backfield. Matheny moves under center. Sending Bren Renda in motion. Looking to the right side. Nobody there. Now going to take off with the ball. This is dangerous as well. And I'm not sure she ever hit the ground. That was Christina Villalobos coming up from the linebacker position.
Villalobos playing a great game. We haven't talked about her much. But again, KK Matheny taking hits she shouldn't be taking at this part of the game.
3rd and 8 now. Austin showing a little bit of life despite the scoreboard. I like the energy of the team. They don't seem dejected. They're not hanging their heads. This is the time of game that you look at body language. And when you look over at Austin, it's a sign of confidence almost, despite that scoreboard.
You're right. When I interviewed the coach and the players this week, they were not scared to come in here to Seattle. They have a lot of confidence in what they can do.
A little confusion. KK Matheny getting lit up, and that's a loose ball. Tiffany Zimmerman picking up the fumble. Again, I have no idea the logic of this offensive series for Seattle.
You're right again. This offense right now, I don't know what Coach Michelson's trying to pull. He said he didn't want to show everything for Los Angeles, and there he's trying to trick play a reverse, and it failed miserably.
Not to mention a play where your quarterback is prone to be lit up, and that is exactly what happened.
They had things on a roll. They got their swag back. Now they're going to end the game doing mistakes.
And I don't know that I'd want to leave this game with Austin scoring this late. Nonetheless, Tashay Winfrey goes back to work. Ball at the Seattle 4-yard line. We have time for a few plays here. It would be an incredible momentum builder for this Austin Acoustic team if they could get into the end zone. A poor snap. I believe the center there is Steph Wickett. And that's disappointing. That's one of the most trivial plays in football. You've got to get the snap right.
Rookie mistake there, bad snap. You get the momentum back. I know you're down a lot of points, but you get the momentum back. You just want positive plays.
And that was not Steph Wickett. I take that back. That's Christina Villalobos with the poor snap. Winfrey remains in the shotgun. Receivers split right. Another low snap by Villalobos, and all Winfrey can do is get on the ball. This has turned ugly and late for Austin.
Seattle's going to come out of here with a win, but I can't imagine, being the perfectionist that he is, that Chris Michelson's going to be happy with this game.
No, I think there are definitely bright spots on both sides of the ball for Seattle, but a lot to work on before they match up against the more elite teams in the LFL. For Austin, it was Tashay Winfrey. We saw the good, the bad, and the ugly. but still a lot of upside for this franchise. That'll officially bring it to the end of LFL football night. For our director, Ray Litkenhaus, producer Jonas Nordman, my partner, Bobby Huco, sideline reporter, Desi Mitchison, this is Mitch Mortaza, and we will see you next week on LFL Football Night.